Welcome back, my TCLs. Today we take a look at DC Comics Icons Darkseid. This is a deluxe pack that he comes with Grail, so it's Darkseid and Grail from DC Collectibles. As you can see, it comes in a window box packaging, showing you all the stuff, the accessories that it comes with, including a close-up of how Grail and Darkseid looks like. But we're going to take a closer look at that anyways. Top, you have the Omega sign. On the bottom, it tells you the story is based off. It's the Darkseid War. So these figures are coming to you, covering the comic book Darkseid War series that was going on with Justice League. There's a back cross sale. All those figures are now available. So if you want, you can go grab them. So without further ado, let's just take a look at the figures.
Alright, so here we have Darkseid and his daughter Grail out of the packaging. So, I'm not even going to begin to try to figure out how to have a daughter who I ain't going to even bother into that. Anyways, so this is the deluxe set from DC Icons. It's our first big figure and our first different articulation female figure. So I'll get to that in a moment of what's different about her compared to the other female figures in this line, and what's different about him. I say it like that because there's some things that are great and some things that are not so great about the Darkseid, which I'm surprised, especially this is like $100 2-pack. So first off, we're going to go into what comes with the figure, which is basically sheet showing you how to change Darkseid's hands and Grail's hands, and how to get the little I guess it's like you could call it like straddle, or like a little cloth thing, like a little cape, or I think it's a straddle, whatever you put on her and stuff by removing her head. So let's start with, I guess, Grail, ladies first. Well, I'm pretty sure she's not someone's holy grail or someone's grail piece, but nevertheless, I had to use that pun there. So first we're gonna go through the articulation of Grail. She comes, her head's on a ball joint. Look up, down, very well. She can really look up and can look down with it. So I like the way they did the ball joint on her head. It's like one of the best out of the Icons line so far. And the hair really pliable, so you have no hindering whatsoever. You can have her look any which way. Articulation, hands can go upwards slightly, downwards. You have swivel at the bicep. You have single joint at double jointed elbows. Swivel at the wrist here, so they have the basic articulation. She has upper chest rotation here. She has ab crunch articulation. This too, the little side skirt here is pliable, so she can still do like the splits. And she can go up, put her foot outwards, backwards. Here's the new thing about her. She has thigh swivel. So what we've been asking for, they kind of put in her. Whether it's going to continue with the rest of the line next year remains to be seen, but she has thigh swivel. Now with this, I could say yay, to put thigh swivels, you can kind of get more articulation. But on the bad side, I can see why they didn't, because it really does cut the whole design and sculpting here on the side of her leg at the pad here. It looks weird when you turn it and stuff like that. So I can see why they've been hesitant not to add it into the figures, because it does look a little weird if it's not done right. And if maybe they put it a little higher, like up here, it would have worked, but they didn't. So it's a little off and a little awkward for her when she's doing that. You know, it kind of takes away from the side of her side pads. So double jointed knee, no swivel in the boot anywhere that I can find, and she has ankle articulation here and ankle rocker. So
With all the paint applications on Grail, she really turned out great. Still, the jury's still out on that new articulation in the leg, but other than that, it's a really nice looking figure.
What else can I say about this figure? The design's really nice. The paint apps are really amazing, even though it's basically like yellow, blue, and black, but it's really well done. No blemishes here. She comes with, first of all, it's hard to stand. That could be due to her heels. There we go, got her. So she comes with this axe weapon, which it looks like it can move, but it doesn't. There's no articulation on this axe weapon whatsoever. She comes with four sets of hands. So she has the open hands. She has the other like gripping hands or holding hands. That's for an axe. And she comes with this little straw piece, which is actually has the design, the mega sign in the front, and it actually has like this red coloring inside. So it's a two different type of little straw here, cape.
Actually called a cloak. I don't know why the name escaped me throughout this video.
How it goes on is you pull her head off, which seems to be quite difficult sometimes. I've done this twice. I'm trying not to pull her hair off at the same time pull her head. Now the ball joint stays in the head to put it back in, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. And this leg here I find a little bit loose, but I'm not gonna gripe about that. I don't think she has the same, no, she doesn't have the same new hinge drop like the guys do, like Firestorm and Jon Stewart did. So it's a little different. So you just put that over there like that, and you pop her head back in. You actually hear a pop, pop, and there you go. So it looks pretty cool. I like this little thing that she comes with here, because this is all new with this kind of different look. She actually reminds me of Pythona a bit from G.I. Joe. Now to change your hands, you pop this out. Comes out really easily. And you can give her, I think this one's one for axe, but she can hold it with two hands. So we're going to pop both of the fist hands out. Always pull forward. This one's a little tight. There we go. Always good to try to change around the hands as much as you can with these figures when they're new. But be careful because of them being new. Might be a little more difficult, like right now. I don't want to break this. There we go. So that was a little scary. So basically you can hold it with this hand. There's little parts here where you can have it grip, or she can give her like, you know, two-handed pose, which is kind of hard with this thing on. Let me take this off. And just complain about it being on. So there, now we have her for better grip on her axe. Pretty neat. I like her. There's a lot of shavings, little pieces of paint that are coming off when I change her hands, just so you'd be just to note that. But other than that, it's a pretty cool figure. Other than the loose leg here, and with this axe holding her in the front, allows her to stand a little bit better and stuff. So I can't really complain too much about it. It's nice they got a figure of this. I'm surprised we got one of Grail so early, because she's a really brand new character.
And here she is next to the other female figures in the Icons line, and some of the gentlemen, and as well as the Darkseid from Mattel.
Next up is her daddy, Darkseid. The Darkseid Grail's father. Head's on this kind of ball joint. It's really rigid. He can't really look down, and he can't look up, even no matter how much far back I push. Not really good articulation in the neck. This thing, I'm not quite sure why they have this shoulder pad type thing. I saw someone online actually broke theirs, so I'm hoping I'm being very careful with mine. So give like kind of movement of the shoulder pads and stuff. I find it kind of really not necessary. If you just made like pliable type shoulder pads and stuff, that would have did the trick. Kind of almost like they do the other Darkseid they released about a year ago or so. Articulations as follows. Arms can go outwards as well. Double jointed elbows. I have to turn them like this because unfortunately, as it looked like in a lot of the promos and other stuff before, he has no bicep swivel. Now, this being an Icons figure, all the Icons figures have followed this and they all have bicep swivels. I'm surprised they left this out for Darkseid because it doesn't allow you to for crossing his arms, which he's known to do, or even trying to put his arms behind him. So this is a really let down number one for this Darkseid already, in my opinion. If you're watching DC Collectibles or not, I'm just letting you know, it's this. She should have had the bicep swivel. That would have been really cool, especially for the price point. Next we have here, he has a good range of motion in the chest, articulation, and swivel and stuff like that. Yeah, ab crunch is really good. He has this pliable waist type belt here. So I had a little paint smudge on mine when I first moved him. He does not have any waist swivel. I guess that's due to the upper chest swivel he already has. Did mention double jointed elbows, swivel in the wrists here with wrist hinge. The gauntlets do not swivel. Now here's the illusion that we have, number two. There's a cut here for his leg. It looks like there was articulation that was going to be added to his leg. It was added, but it's been taken away. It's been fused together, so we cannot twist his leg. So he almost had like an upper type of leg twisting there, but they took that away. So that would have been really cool to have for him. His feet can go outwards, so you can kind of get him in a sitting pose. Here's the back part of him there. He has double jointed knees, and he has swivel in his boots, and he has boot articulation. Now the funny thing is, his boots are so big it can't really go back or forth that much here. So this part hinders that from going back a bit. He can only go back that much of it, just to give it like he's moving on his tippy toe, and the front is kind of the same deal. But he does have the ankle swivel, so you can kind of position him and stuff. So this Darkseid, I expected a little bit more, especially the head movement here. At least the bicep swivel would have been nice. You can get that little cross pose, because now if you want to make it like he's in like battle action and throwing a punch, you actually have to twist his whole waist, which is in a way accurate to the human body, but you can the human body can also twist like the biceps that we all can do, and it doesn't look he really can throw a decent punch, because they said at the beginning they're making these figures and stuff for us to play with.
This Darkseid is really a great figure. I'm just really bummed about the bicep swivel that was left out. I'm not so the thigh swivel I can go without, but the bicep swivel would have really made this figure, and a little bit better articulation in the neck. Other than that, it's a pretty cool Darkseid figure so far. I did forget to mention his extra hands, which are very easy to switch in and switch out.
I do have the other Darkseid that they did about a year ago. Let's take a look at him in comparison to height. So you have two Darkseids, roughly about the same price point. I can understand, I guess, because you include Grail with this one from Icons, they have to cut some stuff here with him, but I don't understand why they did it with the biceps, because this Darkseid, he's not as articulated. He has single joint in the elbow. His articulation in his head is a lot better. He has a swivel in the biceps. His arms can go outwards. There's no upper chest swivel here, and he has the same thing. There's no leg tie swivel and stuff, but he does have cut in the boot. So here's a look, and here's a quick comparison since I already have them up of the two different Darkseids. So you have the new 52 Darkseid side by side, and you can see there's been a little bit of design change along the way in the front from when they first appeared, when they first released some stuff. I do like the sculpting on his face a little bit more than this one. It looks more rock-like than this one, but this one gives it a little bit more impression and stuff. So they kind of match to the actual design of the figure here. And here in the back, you can see the difference. So it's pretty cool. And then of course I do have the one from Mattel, which is this little guy with his big shoulder pads, like he's playing football. So, and he's just, his design is completely different. So that's the thing about these Darkseids, is that they are share the same design, but in a way it's been tweaked. There's no consistency. Not saying each company should be consistent, but these two companies, DC Collectibles, should be a little bit consistent in the design. But it did change in the comic books, is understandable. On the plus point, you do have this Darkseid. You can pretend that he just increases his height and his power and stuff like that. And because rather than being 6 inch, he just increases his size to battle the Justice League of anybody who opposes him. Which to me is kind of like what I would be doing and makes more sense, because as much as the Darkseid looks nice and imposing, this is not the Darkseid I'm used to, with him being like a giant. You know, I'm used to the 7-inch tall max Darkseid, not being figure formed by me like towards the other characters like Justice League and stuff, where he's like only like a little bit higher than them to do battle with. So that's my kind of Darkseid I'm used to. I do like this one.
But I am concerned about this. Underneath the arms, you can see that it hasn't been completely sealed or glued together, and it's a little choppy the way they chopped it up. Especially on my left arm, I just hope that it holds and it doesn't break or fall apart. It just, I don't know, it just gets me a little worried when I see stuff like this.
I do like the one from DC Collectibles, the Bill and Connect figure Darkseid. He's still my favorite one there, but it is a nice effort here for this. And like I said before, with these two, other than the design change a bit, I can make it like he's just increasing his size to fight the Justice League. I do understand why they made him imposing. He is a god, in other words, so it does make sense. And it makes sense to have him at this imposing size.
So there you have it with the size of the Darkseid and stuff. If you're looking for a Darkseid, it is really a great and good Darkseid to add to your collection. If you like the height and all. If not, you might want to track down the other smaller ones.
Of course, especially when he's going up against Anti-Monitor, which I hope, and he might be the one that's next big figure. I don't know who they'll partner him up with, or he may just be a standalone figure with a light up features. That would be even more cooler if it just had him with a little bit more articulation and light up features for Anti-Monitor. And that's another thing, we haven't really gotten the Darkseid for light up feature eyes and stuff like that from DC Collectibles since they were DC Direct back in the day, and that would have been really cool. There is one coming up. I know this is a different company, Mezco, and he's going to be around the 7-inch size or so, and he's going to have light up eyes, and he looks really wicked, and it's a cross between a new design and the Kirby design. So that's the cool Darkseid. I hope it comes out sooner rather than later, and I can't wait to pick him up too. I just like Darkseid. Darkseid's a really cool character. He's been my favorite character since back in the Superpower days when I watched the cartoon. Just love Darkseid. Darkseid's just cool. So there you have it. There is a review of the Darkseid Grail Deluxe pack. It should be available at online retailers and comic book shops. You should be able to still pick one up now. You're collecting this line, you want to add them in. It's up to you. I know some people like the Darkseid this size, some people don't. It's the only way to get Grail, unless somebody's parting with their Grail somewhere and they don't want the Grail, they just mainly want the Darkseid. You have to go hunting for that. But I'm keeping the ball from getting this whole line. Even though I gripe and stuff, it is my money, our money we're spending at $100 a pop. I'm going to just give my opinion what I think about and stuff. Nevertheless, I'm still getting them in the collection, stuff like that. But I might be choosy if something like this comes along again with the same problem. So the Scorpion 72 with review, as I mentioned, of Darkseid Grail Deluxe 2-pack, telling you to enjoy your toys. And until next time, keep playing. And yes, I will enjoy my toys, especially this one. Now I just have to find a spot for him, because yeah, now I've got like 2 big giant Darkseids. Oh boy. Take care. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
1, 2, 3, 4. I like videos, you like videos. I love toys and you love toys. So go watch some more of my videos. Alright, that's it. I'm watching more videos. Keep playing.